Hi. This week I've made some big changes to employees, added some animations and made employees a lot more varied. The work done this week will pave the way for adding whole new employee types in the future, including mechanics, tree surgeons and planters. The first thing I did, however, was take the old housing interface which listed residents and statistics about a house and turn it into a control panel. It took a little bit of reworking of the old code to make it compatible with the way control panels work, but now I think it looks a lot better. Much more in keeping with the style of the rest of the interfaces in the game. That job was pretty much procrastination, as I've been avoiding animating employees for a long time. I decided that I'd spent enough time waiting for the right moment and had honestly gotten a bit bored of the old Lumberjack sprites which glide around like they're on rails. I thought a good place to start would be by animating a simple stick figure just to get my head around isometric walk cycles. At first things were pretty simple, the proper art comes later in the video. Once I felt like I'd gotten a bit of an idea of how walk cycles work, I moved on to my second stick figure, which looked like this. I added a bit more motion throughout the body in this one, with the head bobbing each step. Having had 2 test runs, I decided it was time to just give drawing the final employee walk cycle a shot. Having spent a long time playtesting the game with the old Lumberjack sprites, I'd soon realised that there simply weren't enough pixels in the original drawing to afford any kind of detail. I decided with this one, I'd make everything a little bigger, particularly the head, to fit a bit more detail in. The larger head will be useful as that's where most of the variation will be, with randomised hairstyles, hair colours and skin tones. I imported that into Unity and this was the result. I was pretty happy with it, but knew something was missing. I decided to quickly mock up the 4 different directions based on that original animation and see how they looked when changing direction in Unity. They look like they're celebrating Pride, but the colours actually represent the different sections of the animation, so I can tell them apart and make sure everything is kept uniform with each employee type. I realised the thing that was missing was the head bobbing from the second stickman animation I did. I looked at a bunch of different pixel walk cycle animations and pretty much all of them do this. It looks quite unnatural how the heads stay at a uniform height at all times, so I went back to A-Sprite to add that. After a bit of tweaking, I finally landed on this animation, just a subtle bob up and down to indicate movement. With the walk cycle done, next I had to design the new Lumberjacks. I stuck with the classic theme of plaid shirt and jeans. Animating it was just a case of painting over the walk cycle and using the coloured sections as an overlay to dictate where the arms and legs were when overlapping the body. Playing it back at the end, I decided that all the shadow details on the shirt and trousers were a bit excessive and could be a bit messy at times. Instead, I added some simple symmetrical shadows that just give an idea of where the employee's limbs are at any moment. Once I'd done all the different variations for direction, it looked like this. I also removed the hair for the next step. On Wednesday, I began work on making different employees have different appearances. The first step in this was to make different hairstyles. I started with a grid of 8 heads with 4 directions each. There's something disturbing about the way this looks, but I can't tell what. Anyway, the idea is that the hair attaches to the blank animation of the employee and is coloured by the employee generator. Once I'd drawn all the hairstyles, I made them all pure white, as that just means I can use Unity's sprite renderer to make the hair literally any colour I want. I also removed the head sprites, as that will make it easy to vary skin tone later on. All the Lumberjacks have beards of course, and each employee type will have different identifying features. The up and down bobbing of the walk cycle meant I had to match that with the hair, So initially I made animations for each of the directions the hair would face to match the up and down motion of the body. I realised that approach probably wouldn't be too wise, as I was planning on making skin and outfits modular too, so they would also need to be animated the same way. To minimise the risk of 4 separate moving items going out of sync, I decided that just animating the body and attaching the hair as a child would be a better decision. I just had to adjust the original animation so that the shadow moved and the top of the head stayed the same, so that I could add the bobbing motion in Unity. Just a quick shout out, Lethal's Loaded from the game's Discord suggested I use scriptable objects for the different hairstyles, which was something I'd somehow missed using Unity in the past. They're really useful for creating objects that can be represented as just data, such as hairstyles, and I always thought that was something that Unity was missing. So yeah, thanks for that. There always seems to be more to learn about this engine. The Discord is great for that kind of thing, or if you just want to chat, so it'd be good to see more of you there. The link to that is in the description. Anyway, with the hairstyles and animations done, I got simple randomization of the hairstyles working. And here you can see the employees happily walking around with a variety of bad haircuts. The only thing missing, I thought, was shadows on the hair. They were super easy to add, and I just adjusted the original sprites. This was the final result. It was a super busy week, but I got a lot done, and thankfully the walk cycle animation was nowhere near as daunting as I thought. That's all for this week. If you liked the video, remember to absolutely smash subscribe, and I shall see you next time. Cheers for watching.